This one is actually my students' project, the final year project in the public poly. So this is one of my two groups of students who are doing this project for a span of 1 year. So I'd like to share with you some interesting information that I found. Right? It's a very simple intertidal survey, but very interestingly, we found some pattern between various sites that we have surveyed during the last year. Okay, some introductions. Coral reefs are associated with warm, shallow seas and just fall some distance away from the island. So if you have actually go for some Redang Island trips or Chongmang Island, you'll notice that the coral will not actually grow very close to the shore, right? Because of some geographical reason and the limits. So this is a pattern that has been seen because of the island structure when it's formed. So the coral community at different distance from mainland as relationship is actually very little studied. So that's why we came from this idea that why do we do intertidal survey with different factors to add on from the distance from the shore, and we can see is there any pattern onto it. Okay, so this is a preliminary assessment. We are just trying out whether this form of assessment is viable or not. Okay, so that's why the site survey is not as much as what the previous presenters have presented. Okay, so we have selected Pulau Hantu and Tanah Merah to do at a different distance to do the intertidal survey, and we purposely look for location that we have disturbed by man-made structure, which is the rock wall. The objective is to determine the species biodiversity because we hypothesize that with the increase of distance from the shore, okay, due to the man-made structure such as the seawall, we hypothesize that the biodiversity will increase as we get it away from the seawall. Okay, so this is what we made. Okay, so we went to Hantu and Tanah Merah. Okay, so these two sites. Okay, at Pulau Hantu, we actually have 3 sites there, A, B, C. The C is actually the lagoon. Okay, we also do the offshore from A and B, at the beside there, Pulau Hantu beside. The other one, we go to the Tanah Merah coast at the site A and B. Okay, so this was conducted in the early part of the year 2013 and the later part of the year 2013. Okay, so it's very simple. We do the offshore measurement using poles and tapes. We measure the distance, okay, from the rock walls up to every 5-meter interval to the maximum of 25 meters from the shoreline. So at each point of interval, we will do the intertidal survey of the 3 replicates of quadrant. We use the 1 by 1 meter quadrant. We have 2 types. One is the stand, and then one is sitting. Okay, there's a reason behind it because as we reach to the right end away, about 20 meters, the water depth starts to increase. Then my post students have to snorkel, submerge halfway in, and then do the counting and classification of the marine organism. Okay, so they do some visual sensors, okay, using the quadrant. So you can see some of our students is doing, they are observing, do the visual sensing. And they actually do the ID also. They actually don't pick up. Okay, we didn't pick up onto the shore. We take photograph and then ID later. Okay, so I'll share with you the result. Okay, we actually have accumulated 67 genera have identified. Okay, we identified according to the general level. Okay, so across the Hantu and Tanah Merah, so some interesting thing we look for, like Evapora, Vibera, we even have regular red clam, giant clams. Okay, one of the students found one black margin woody branch. Very beautiful. Okay, so this also others one Evapora. Or some of them even we took the pictures underwater. Okay, so we do students do a species biodiversity index of the Hantu and Tanah Merah, you can actually see there's a very big difference between Tanah Merah, which is the mainland, as well as the Pulau Hantu. And there is you can see that there is a gradual increase, okay, of the biodiversity index, which is the highest fall on 50 meters away from the shore. Okay, eventually it drops. For the species richness and the evenness at the Hantu, okay, Pulau Hantu, you also can see that the richness also spike up from 5 meters away from the shore, then eventually it reduced down up to 20. You will notice why 25 and 30 have no result, because at the about 20 plus meters, there is a slight dip of the cliff, right? And the student is not able to see any growth from there because it's too dark. Okay, so that's why they have managed only to reach up to 20 meters. Okay, this is at the Tanah Merah. Okay, you can see that the species richness is not as much as compared to the Pulau Hantu. Okay, then we also do a dominant chart, okay, of a different site. This is in Pulau Hantu, they do a dominant. So you can notice that, for example, okay, that E here, okay, they have a high level of anthers over at the 10 meters from the shore. At the site C, a lot of anthers. Okay, at the site A, you have quite much of dominant of A is over here. Okay, of the different genus appear in the different sites. Then after that we do the MBS. I think the previous speaker have explained what is MBS, so I'm going to it. Okay, so we try to find a relationship between Pulau Hantu and Tanah Merah. The further away, the closer it is, the more similar they are sampling, right? And you can see it's totally different. Okay, it's totally different. So I'm going to zoom. It's too small, so I'm going to zoom. Okay, this is Pulau Hantu. So within Pulau Hantu, there's similarities of 40%, okay, within the area. Okay, within the area. Okay, and we can see that for the 5, the 10, and the 20 meter, there's a close similarities at 80%. If you take a look at the Tanah Merah, okay, they have similarity within itself of 40%. You can notice at 15, 10, 20, 25, 30, right, there are similarities of 80%. Okay? The 0 meter is the one that is is the most difference among them. Then the student also do some conception diagram, okay, to illustrate what are the things they have found. Okay, this is not in drawing scale. Okay, so they have found that there's various different type of organisms found in Hantu as well as Tanah Merah. Okay. So for what we actually noticed, there's a great difference because of the structure. In Pulau Hantu, the site survey is there's a seawall over here, then it exposed to the sea. But in Tanah Merah, it's different. There's a seashore over here. After a few meters, 20 meter and 30 meter, there's a seawall. So that's why it shows a very great difference. The seawall may have disrupted the biodiversity of Tanah Merah, which has blocked at the 30 meters off from the shore. That's why there's a big difference. Okay, so at Hantu, highest species biodiversity index is 2.25 at 15 meters, and lowest 1.33 at 0 meters. But in Tanah Merah, the highest species index is at 25, is 0.43, which is very close to the seawall, the outer seawall. Okay, and I've explained already they have 20% similarity across each location. Okay, so the hypothesis states actually have proven, okay, from the data we have collected that actually biodiversity actually increased with the distance from the shore. Okay, at Tanah Merah we also do some observations that some of the hard corals will actually bury under the sand. And this may be due to the reconstruction of the sand, also reconstruction of the seawall along the coastline. So what we come with this project is organizations building seawalls, okay, should be acceptable, responsible, and maintain them before they have to be have more reliable and robust information about the environment, okay, before we build the seawall. Okay, I think in the previous round, somebody had presented about the seawall, right? The useful of seawall is prevent the corroding of the shoreline. But with these information, right, you may have a better engineer to build the seawall so that you will not affect the biodiversity. This is extracted from Peter in one of the papers. They mentioned that when shoreline armoring lowers the land sea interference, benthic fauna and insect establishments are disrupted. Widespread shoreline modification may decrease the availability of prey resources for fish and wildlife and increase the contributions of organic materials enter near the shore ecosystem. And I find that it's true, especially the Canberra with seawall blocking. Right? When there's a high tide, right, the water comes in, yes, okay, it actually can go through the seawall with water coming in, but I think a lot of organic materials or nutrients, okay, are being trapped within the seawall. Okay. I want to thank RP for opportunities to run this project, as well as the two supervisors of Form and Musim for my marine science, as well as my final year project students from environmental science. They already have graduated.